Bum 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 bum. Hey Star Wars fans, it's your friend Dominic Tringali here again with another one of the D'Agostini Build the Millennium Falcon model kits, a weekly published magazine which includes a number of parts that you'll put together using instructions in the magazine on how to build a scale 1-to-1 movie prop replica of the model they used to film The Empire Strikes Back. So every issue past the first is €10.99. First one issue is $3.50, and I was able to get one issue free so far. So that takes the grand total to €278.25 I've spent so far. So let's just dive right into this issue and show you what exactly they are talking about. So, of course, my favorite starship, I guess, because you guys know I love the Star Destroyer, but this is the Super Star Destroyer. I mean, this thing is 19 kilometers long. It dwarfs the Star Destroyers, the Imperial class Star Destroyers, to the point where it actually uses Star Destroyers as escort vessels. It keeps the familiar triangular shape, but it's just it's a class all on its own. It has 5,000 laser batteries or missile launchers. It has 2 shield generators, Class 2 hyperdrive with a backup of a Class 1. That seems weird that their backup's faster than their regular. Their backup is a Class 10, not Class 1. So that makes sense. The hyperdrive rating is 2.0 and a backup of Class 10. So this thing uses more energy to get into hyperdrive than some societies will produce in their lifetime, apparently. The fusion reactors that have to spool up in order to get this thing moving. Here's a great picture that they used forced perspective to make it seem how big it is. You know, you have this Star Destroyer, which we know is huge, and then behind it, in a huge, unimaginable distance because it's space, is another is the Super Star Destroyer, and then you have in the far distance another escort Star Destroyer. The crew complement is a colossal 280,734 gunners, officers, and enlisted men, and it could be a transport for up to 38,000 troops for planetary deployment, and carry supplies for up to 300,000. Oh my gosh! So you could see why Darth Vader wanted to make it his flagship. They had 4 in production, they say somewhere. So I guess other than the one that was destroyed in the Battle of Endor. You'll see more than just the Executor, or the Executor, sorry. So hopefully, maybe there are more Star Destroyers, or something dwarfing a Super Star Destroyer. I don't know. In the next Star Wars movie, I want to see it, man. I want to see it. Then they talk about moisture farming. So each one of these moisture evaporators that Luke and his uncle work, each one produces like 1.5 liters of water a day. Which, I mean, like in the desert, you're going to need like several of these just to get by. I mean, we see that Obi-Wan Kenobi lives in this house, and then we can see there's a moisture evaporator on the outside of that, so we assume that's where he gets his water from. But that means he's like, at best, at optimum. And if it's working perfectly, it's going to be pumping out 1.5 liters of evaporated moisture a day. And that's not really a lot of water. I think you're going to get dehydrated a lot. Maybe that blue milk helps out too. Who knows? I mean, and also, like, they speak the binary language. They speak a binary language, and you need, like, a droid to communicate with it. So, like, I didn't remember Obi-Wan having a droid, and I don't think he speaks binary. So I'm wondering how the hell he's talking to his moisture evaporator and getting it to work for him. So, yeah, so each evaporator is worth 2,000 Imperial credits. Height is 3.5 meters. I wonder where they got those facts from. Probably the role-playing game. A G8 moisture evaporator. So, Yeah, and then we go ahead and we had the most interesting article was talking about the ground buzzer cannon, that cannon that drops out of the Millennium Falcon in the battle or the Hoth invasion, and just like shoots a shitload of stormtroopers, snow patrol, just executes them. Apparently, it can shoot like 12 energy blasts per second, and here's like a nice, cool cutaway of it. I mean, that's badass. And it was such a great surprise when I first saw it in the movies. I was like, oh man, that is awesome. It just dropped down and just took out all those dudes. Okay, so then we have the instructions for today. And yeah, so I got part bag number 27 here. I can go ahead and give this a little perusal, tear it open and see what's inside and show you guys. So the biggest piece was this piece of exterior hull, which is very bland, and like I'm saying, I'm hoping I stack these on top of, like I have another frame piece that goes on top of this to kind of take away some of the blandness. I believe that's how it's going to work. I have this piece right here. Excuse all the construction in my neighborhood. Sorry about the sound quality, guys. This goes right here, and I'll screw these in. Here are the screws I'll be using for that. Or actually, these will be the screws I'm using for that. These screws I'm going to be using for the ribbing, which comes in this bag with the framing. Some more screws. And I also got a piece, I almost threw it away, a piece of jig. So I'll be assembling that next. So let's go ahead and jump right into this and take it step by step. Oh yeah, and there's this bag of pieces which will be going in here. So it's a big issue, so let's just jump right into it. So the first step is to actually take this right here and screw it into place down below in these holes with these screws that I have already opened the baggie for. Got my magnetic screwdriver, and then I'll be affixing some of these pads to the inside of here on both sides. So let's go ahead and screw those into place, and then we can go ahead and get to gluing the pads onto the wall. Awesome. So I've screwed these gold screws into place, securing the floor to this half of the corridor. The next step is to trim this piece and this piece according to the instructions. They're numbered, and then I'll be gluing them into their respective places right here. So let's go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I'm finished. Okay, so when I'm all done, it looks like this, and I'll be saving this for the next issue where I'll be completing it, I suppose. So at least 3 issues to complete this piece. Not as bad as 5, I suppose. So the next step is to take those 3 pieces of framing as well as the strut pieces, and I'm going to start affixing them to my frame. Great. So these are the 20 piece of hull framing for the lower half that I've completed so far. Step 1 in this assembly for the framing had me actually put together a strut, and then step 2 is going to and 3 are going to have me actually test fitting this piece to here and screwing it into place on the ribbing that I already have in place. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I move on to step 4. So after step 3, I have this in place. Step 4 is to go ahead and test fit this piece right into here, and then step 5 is to put the screws into place and tighten them up. So I'll show you what it looks like after I've gotten step 5 complete. So step 5 had me securing it right here and here on this rib, this radial rib, and now the next step is step 6 and 7, where I'll be fitting this piece into place, piece number 32, and securing it at this one point right there. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like before I put on the next framing rib. So after step 7, I have all 3 of these framing pieces in place. Now to give it some more stability and structure, I'm going to be taking this this rib and putting it into place here, 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 and here to pull the whole thing together. So I'll put 5 more screws in, and then I'll be all done framing for today. So now I've put 23 pieces of frame, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ribs into place. Now it's so heavy it's going to start bowing. That's why I think now we're actually going to be putting the jig together. So there's a diagram here. I recommend that you have marked all your jigs somehow or know how to distinguish each one, because the process tells you which piece you need to put where in the diagram. So if you've kind of lost track, you might have to consult some of your older issues to make sure you have the right piece of jig, because it's kind of like a puzzle. It all kind of goes together a certain way. So I'll start off putting the first couple pieces of jig together and show you what that looks like when I'm all finished. So this is my jig. It's starting with issue 18 and going counterclockwise chronologically all the way to the issue I got in issue 27. So I'm going to add 2 more pieces in issues 30 and 31 apparently, but the next step is to take these little black felt pieces and put them in all these little dotted spaces to give the frame a little grip. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like when I'm all finished. So as you can see, I have put those black dots into all the spots, and so finally I can put my framing onto this jig for safekeeping. So as you can see, it's now kind of floating freely onto this jig and not going to move around and hopefully not distort. I also put together this piece of the passageway, and so that's a lot of work actually. Progress. This is going to take up a lot more space now. Awesome. Can't keep it in a box anymore or on my desk. Gonna have to figure out a place for it. So after issue 27, I've finished the jig. I've added those 3 pieces of framing. I put the framing onto its jig, and I have this half-finished passageway, which will be going, I assume, on the other side of the main hold. So it's all really coming together. With issue 28, I should have the passageway finished. Oh dear God, another passageway arch. So I'll have to put that together. Some framing, I'm sure I'll have to hold that back. So all I'll be doing is finishing the passage next issue, and then I'll be assembling all those pieces together to make one cohesive little diorama. Cool, guys. Question of the day. Do you think Obi-Wan could live on just one of those moisture evaporators? I don't think so. When I was in the desert, I drank a lot of water, but I guess, maybe everyone is a little dehydrated, and maybe that blue milk really does help. So guys, leave your comments down below for the answer. Check out our other 26 issues of my Build a Millennium Falcon kit. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of the upcoming issues. And shoot the show a nice like by clickety-clacking that blue button down at the bottom, where it's the thumbs up. So, issue 27, I actually got the jig assembled. I got more framing on this bad boy, and I even put together the first half of this passageway, which I believe will be the other auxiliary passage away from the main hold. So, that'll be cool. With issue 28, I'll be finishing that. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God, it's a frickin' archway. Oh God, I hate those things, but at least I'll be finished with this thing after that. Some framing, I probably won't be using that at all until a later issue. Some more hold pieces. So issue 28 will be probably real low key, not like this issue. Question for the day is: do you honestly believe that a human could live on Tatooine on 1.5 liters a day? Or maybe there's more efficient ways of getting water. I don't know. Maybe that, like I said, that blue milk maybe helps out. So, guys, check out the other 26 episodes of our Build the Millennium Falcon model kit segment. Show the channel some love by subscribing, and also that way you won't miss out on any of the upcoming issues. Hit the like, thumbs up, and make sure to leave your comment to the question down below. Hey guys, I'll see you real soon next week for issue 28.